After days of effort, the couple finally managed to assemble their child's massive toy house. But just as they were about to admire their work, they realized one piece was missing. There was no time to redo it. Secretly, the wife tossed the leftover piece into the sea. They had gone through all this trouble for just one reason: to have a child. But first, they had to pass the evaluation. It was part of the mandatory 7-day parenting reflection period. In this society, due to severe resource shortages, natural reproduction had been banned. In exchange, people were granted longer lifespans. If you wanted to have a child, you had to prove yourself worthy and get the approval of a government evaluator. Mia and Will, thanks to their solid financial situation, had made it to the final stage: in-person evaluation. Their evaluator was a woman named Virginia. For the next 7 days, she would impersonate a child of varying ages and behaviors. Watching closely how the couple responded to her actions, she would judge whether they were truly capable of becoming parents. At any point, the couple could choose to quit, but doing so would permanently revoke their eligibility to have a child. Whether they passed or not was entirely up to the evaluator. Day 1 focused on basic background checks. Will was a programmer specializing in virtual pets. Mia was a botanist who cultivated rare plants. Virginia was satisfied with their professional profiles. Day 2, she fully entered child mode. The couple, with no parenting experience, were thrown off and deeply unsettled. That night, Virginia ordered a giant toy house online and demanded they build it before morning. The couple worked tirelessly to finish it, only to find one piece left over. Mia quietly threw it into the sea. Virginia was pleased. The next test, a family dinner. Mia spent the whole meal tending to Virginia's noisy antics. Backstory: Earth's old world had once been plagued by extreme climate conditions, rendering it uninhabitable. To survive, governments created massive domes, enclosed environments known as the New World. Only a tiny fraction of land outside the domes remained livable. People there still retained the right to reproduce freely. Day 6, Virginia stormed into Mia's greenhouse, smashed all her equipment, and set the place on fire. Day 7, the evaluation ended. Virginia simply said, "Asterisk, you failed." Asterisk. The couple stood there in shock. Mia, devastated, tried to pick up the pieces of her ruined greenhouse. Will, overwhelmed with love and pity, held her tightly. Using his virtual pet technology, Will created a digital baby. But Mia didn't want a cold simulation, she wanted a real child. She spent a long time searching for Virginia. When she finally found her, Virginia admitted the evaluation was a farce. No one had passed in 6 years. Evaluators were trained to deliberately make people fail using extreme methods. Mia thought of the old world, the people who still had the freedom to choose. Meanwhile, Virginia arrived at her next assignment, another hopeful couple. But this time, she jumped from the balcony. She had lost the will to keep going. Will stayed behind, lost in his digital dream world. His virtual child had already grown up. Outside their home, Mia waved at them with a loving smile. But the fading silhouette said otherwise. The real Mia had left. She had returned to the old world, where for the first time in her life, she could feel the wind that never blew under the dome.